Okay. So you have a lot of time. No. Oh. Huh? Both come. Okay, okay. So my name is Ram Sudhir. Okay, so brief background of mine is I have experience in public sector as well, BHEL, and then I've done my MBA from Symbiosis, then into investment banking. It's a finance related thing, then state services also. Given UPSC, 3 interviews in UPSC, and currently into teaching. So this is a brief profile. I think more than that is not required as of now. Okay, and as and when we progress, I will tell you all the stories. Okay, and when it comes to economics, basically, everybody feels this is one of the difficult subjects or technical subject. But as far as UPSC is concerned, most of the questions as far as economics are concerned is very, very simple and easy. You have to believe that it is very simple and easy, and I'll also show you. Because in general studies, technical questions are never asked. It is always simple, basic questions that are asked. Okay, so after the 10th class, after the 10th session is over, we can also see the question papers. And you will understand that out of 18 to 20 prelims questions, you will find 15 to 16 which are very, very simple. Very, very simple in the sense that if the basics are strong, then we can mark 16 out of 20 questions right. And if the luck also favors, we will mark 18 out of 20 right. 2 questions you have to give it to God. Okay, so 2 questions it is always, okay, so there is always that element of doubt or luck till the UPSC key comes. And the second thing is you have to enjoy the subject. Enjoy the subject in the sense, don't just read for exam. Of course, you have to read in line with the exam. There is a difference. No, reading in line with the exam means we are going to read. So we are not going to read anything too much other than the something that stuff that is required for exam. But at the same time, whatever you're reading, you have to enjoy it. And in economics is one such subject where you need not mug up. Without mugging up things as well, by understanding the concept, you can mark the right answers, etc. And everyday newspaper, etc. You can follow and you will get to know what is happening around you. Probably tomorrow your stock market investments will also improve. Definitely, yes. You get to know where government is giving you subsidies. You get to know which sectors are going to do well tomorrow. You'll also get to know which are the stocks where there is some, artificially which are pumped up. These things, there's a lot of knowledge gain which will help you to do investments also in future, but that is not the main objective. The main objective is, of course, to clear the exam and getting the concepts right. Is that okay? So then another important aspect here is, there may be few who are already from economics background, like me maybe. Okay, so, but general studies economics, we have to stick to general studies economics. GS is basically very less technical, etc. And I have divided our course into something like around, it will be around 45 to 47 sessions, around 45, around 40 to 45 sessions. Okay, and in the first 5 sessions, around 5 sessions would be basics. First 5 sessions is purely basics. Okay, so when I use the word basics here, it is not basic about one topic. It is basic related to the whole economics. The whole economy I will touch in this story. The first 5 sessions would be a story kind of thing, how Indian economy moved, okay, from 1940s till date. And in the process of explaining the story, I will be hitting some economic terms, or I call it as terminologies. And these terms will come again back in every topic. Listen very carefully. So these terms or concepts will again be back in every topic which you are doing subsequently. So it is basically learning what a term stands for in a story format, that's all. So that means when we use the word economic growth, okay, so or we'll not use the word technical term of GDP or GDP calculation in the basics classes, but we'll also try to understand what this GDP is. Are you able to get this? Okay, similarly, how economy has moved, what capitalism is, how and what is the difference between capitalism, socialism, everything. So here, my objective is to hit the term in the format of story. Why a story? You'll get to know after the fourth class. This story will help you to write introductions in your mains. Are you able to get this? This story will help you to write introductions in your mains. Okay. And another important aspect is the most important sessions of all is these 5 sessions. That means not that all other sessions are useless. But first 5 sessions will give you a background with respect to the terms and terminologies. Tomorrow, after the 6th, 5th session, when I'm getting into the subject discussion, I may be discussing a particular topic and I may get into newspaper, or I may jump from one topic to another topic. Basically, I may pull out a point from another topic, because economy cannot be learnt in isolation. Suppose you are talking about growth, you cannot talk just about growth, because there can be some other factor which will affect the growth. Are you able to get my point, right? For example, today, prices are increasing in the economy. I hope that you know that. Okay, there is this term is called as inflation. I'll come to that term also. This inflation. And what do you think would have been the reasons for this increase in prices currently which you see? Last 1 year, price increase was one problem, especially last 6 months. That is, prices are increasing, whether it is oil prices in the market, okay, or food prices in the market. Okay, so when we talk about Russian war, okay, Russian war is one of the important cause for increase in prices. And it has impact on several aspects in the economy. One aspect, like price increase, will affect several other factors. And that is the reason you can't learn economics in isolation. Isolation in sense, for example, today I ask you a question. When you look around you, do you think, what is your opinion about unemployment problem in India? Unemployment is a separate chapter for us. Okay, so what do you think? Unemployment is high, low? What is your opinion? High. Maximum. Unemployment is high, low. In comparison to states like Kerala, Kerala literacy levels are good. What do you think? What is your opinion? Unemployment rate is higher in Kerala, where the literacy is almost 100%, or when I take India average, is it high? केरला में ज़्यादा है क्यों? Very good. What he says is somebody has to look for work. No, unemployment is somebody has to look for work. And according to him, only somebody who's educated only is looking for work. Yes? Okay. I got your point. But the logic is Kerala is basically a consumption state. You know what is a consumption state? So consumption state with less manufacturing, etc. Okay. So then automatically creation of jobs becomes difficult. Are you able to get this? Okay. And you find that in Kerala, there is many people who go abroad, Middle East countries, etc. And there are remittances that are coming in. You know what are remittances? Somebody is going abroad, sending money to their families. Okay, and with that money they are, spending. They are spending. So the question here is, when a particular state is a consumption state, then automatically creation of employment becomes a challenge. Are you able to get this? So the model which a particular state follows also has an impact on something called as unemployment, or something like the COVID. Okay, so when we look at a particular problem, unemployment can again be linked to something like poverty. Okay, it will have an impact on your consumption, the money which you're spending. I'm using some terms vaguely, I've not started the class, nothing to worry. Okay, so when we look at economics, basically, my suggestion is you should, once the basic classes are over, that is the 15 hours of sessions are over, then you will pick up the newspaper. Of course, now already few of you are very enthusiastic, already you would have picked up the newspaper, started reading economics related articles. But after the 15 hours of session, some basic terminologies which are coming up in newspaper, you should be able to decipher them a little. Are you able to get this? Okay, and current affairs becomes very important as far as our subject is concerned. Current affairs becomes very important. Okay, why? Because economics is an evolving subject. It keeps on changing. It keeps, concepts remain same, but the topics, issues that are going around, the values and numbers, everything keeps changing. One impact like COVID, all the numbers got changed. We also changed, no? Okay, so during COVID pandemic, our mindset has changed. And when we see, if you solve the previous questions after COVID pandemic, you will find all the answers are going to be different. Okay, so answers for the previous questions also change after COVID pandemic. I'll show you those questions as well. Are you able to follow? Okay, so first 5 sessions would be something like the basics or the terminology. In 2 days, I will give you, there's a terminology book which has most of the terms. But the caution is you will not read now. The caution is because it covers all the terms which will come up in your syllabus. And if you start reading that, you will get confused. One caution, economic terms, not now. Wait for some 10 sessions and then you can complete the terms. Whatever terms are coming in class, be thorough with those terms initially. Second, don't start off with your macroeconomics textbook. Again, I'm repeating, NCERT macroeconomics, most of you would have seen. Don't pick that book up now. You will feel economics is difficult. Once that thought comes to your mind, we cannot excel in a subject. I think you're getting my point. You should feel a subject is easy. And it is true that it is easy. And unnecessarily you will pick up macroeconomics textbook. You will see those graphs and numbers. And you will find economics is tough. That is not the case. Not even a single graph is asked in the exam. Not even a single formula is asked in the exam. Whatever formulas that are required, we will discuss. Are you able to get this point? So these are cautions. 2 cautions. First caution is that this economic terms is for reference. You will not pick up and start mugging up those terms now. At least wait for some time. Wait for some 4 or 5 sessions and then yes. Is that clear? Second caution, don't pick up unless you are from economics background. If you are from economics background, it's okay. Otherwise, don't pick up that macroeconomic book, NCERT, and seeing the graphs itself, you're like, oh, this is not my cup of tea. No, that kind of negative mindset. No, I'll tell you from which book you have to start. All those details I will give. Second caution. Is that clear? Clear, no? Third thing which you should be doing, which I will tell you subsequently what has to be done. After every topic is over, you have to go and check the previous questions. After every topic is over, you will go back and check previous questions of UPSC. Not the mock papers. Mock papers you can do it later. Mock papers come late. Mock papers are very tough in fact. Obviously no. Group of people are putting in effort to make the paper tough. Okay, so, but UPSC question paper is completely different. UPSC question paper will be simple in comparison to the mock test which we write outside. So once a particular topic is over, the first thing you will do, go back, sit with the previous UPSC question papers. This is one more thing which has to be done. Along with that, you will also sit with the UPSC mains question papers. It is basically you're sitting with UPSC question papers initially. Then UPSC conducted exams. UPSC conducted exams, UPSC there's this CAPF and CDS and these are UPSC conducted exams. So our order would be first learn the basics. Once the basics, we are good with the basics, we will check the UPSC question papers, prelims and mains, and then UPSC conducted exams. UPSC conducted exams, something that is conducted by UPSC. For us, UPSC is the benchmark, no? Okay, so UPSC conducted exams. If we are able to solve, that means we are okay. If we are not able to solve, that means somewhere there are some gaps, we have to fill those gaps. I think you're getting my point. So this is the first thing. This is very important aspect. Okay. Now, coming to the books. Do's and don'ts. No macroeconomics now. Textbook. What was the other thing which I mentioned? Terminology after 4 or 5 days. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, it will be uploaded. Okay, so slowly you will read. Okay. And which what you have to do is basically checking previous question papers of UPSC and UPSC conducted exams after the particular topic is over. These are the 3 things. And most important is syllabus. Everybody, I think many teachers would have told you. Okay, syllabus in mind. Once I know the syllabus in mind, I will know which article to spend time, which article I should not be spending time. Suppose there is something on food processing in news. Yes, food processing is in news in our syllabus, so I will spend time on food processing. If there is nothing related to you will read about corporate news, etc. So too much of corporate Adani Group, suppose Adani Group, some terms, etc. you should be learning, that's all. But getting into depth like what are the assets of Adani, liabilities of Adani, all that is not required. So how do you know where to focus, where not to focus? It's very important. So that you get to know once you see the syllabus and question papers. So within 15 to 20 days of our classes, syllabus and question papers have to be checked. Around 60 hours, 20 days, 20 sessions. So by that time, almost like you can go through most of the questions. Okay. And after the 20th or the 22nd class, you can also download the topper sheets. That is the next stage. I think you're getting my point, right? Okay. So when it comes to the reference books, okay, so one is Indian Economic Development NCERT. The first book which we will start, this is NCERT only. This is Indian Economic Development. Indian Economic Development NCERT. The first book to be read. Daily 2 pages, 1 page, whichever, like whatever is convenient for you. So this is the first book to be read. Now for prelims, I suggest a book, but if you don't like or you have already purchased something, then it is up to you. Okay. For prelims, there is a book called Indian Economy by Shankar Ganesh. It is a very small and easy to read book. Okay, so already you have purchased some book, then it's okay, don't buy this. Okay, if not purchased anything, then you can look into this book. Ramesh Singh, it is bulky, so that is the reason I have not suggested, but you have purchased it, you want to read, it is up to you. Ramesh Singh, I don't suggest because it is heavy, too heavy. Why so much? For efficiency. What is the effort we are putting? What is the output we are getting? Got the point, right? Okay, so for mains we can read. For mains, what has to be read, I'll talk about it. So this is Shankar Ganesh. This is one suggestion. No, we have already have some other book, then also that's also okay. Any book, but stick to one book for prelims. Okay. Then any word you have a doubt. Suppose a new word terminology comes up in the newspaper or in our booklet we have some new words coming up. So there what you should be doing is, Sanjeev Verma sir's book also is fine. That is for mains basically. This is basically you have the concepts. Okay. So suppose what I was saying. Terminologies you will check in the Investopedia. Like the Wikipedia have Investopedia, if you type you get this only. Okay, so in this Investopedia you will check, suppose there is a word like inflation. The word inflation, you want to do some research, you will type, you will get some data. And you will not go below the first paragraph. Caution, most important caution. Generally I know how you study. Okay, from there you go to YouTube and then you come back. And by the time you come back it is almost 1.5 hours. Okay, it should not be like that. Don't go below the first paragraph. First paragraph will tell you what the word is. And you'll only understand what. Stop there. Calculations and then that's not for you. Okay, so Investopedia, you have a doubt with respect to a particular word, you can type and Investopedia tells you like, what, this is what is inflation. This is what is economic growth. This is what is development. This is what is poverty. That's all. You're not digging deep into Investopedia because from the second paragraph and the third paragraph, the calculations may start. Technicality may start, which is not required for general studies. You're not preparing for optional. This is for general studies, so it's not required. I think it is clear. Okay, so but any word you are coming across in the newspaper, you have a doubt. Okay, so this is the best. Then coming to mains. So there is no specific book as such for mains because most of the time we write answers from newspapers and things like that. Okay, you don't have a specific book, but if you want to read something like, for a reference kind, a particular topic you want to read, there is a book called Mishra and Puri. It is a heavy book, so you'll not read the whole book, But Mishra and Puri is a book where it is not purely written for UPSC. Not purely written for UPSC. Okay, so but it has, for example, we understand that agriculture is a very important topic. Why? Because you see most of the questions in UPSC are there from agriculture. So along with current affairs related to agriculture, you will select agriculture and probably you will read agriculture from this area. Are you able to get my point right? It is not for a general reading, but what you will do is you will read it for specific topics, whichever you feel like reading, whichever is important, you can read Mishra and Puri. Anyhow, I'll be dictating notes, complete notes, and that notes will be sufficient, but still if you want to add on something, etc. So that one is current affairs material, and another one is you want to get a detailed note, then Mishra and Puri. Is that okay? Yes, so this is one more book. And then newspaper, obviously, Indian Express. I will not suggest Hindu, but if you are reading Hindu, it's okay. Indian Express, explained column. That is fantastic as far as understanding. Somebody has written Nitin Singhania. Nitin Singhania also okay. We respect all authors. We respect all authors. Nitin Singhania, moreover, is an officer. So, all due respects. You can, if you have purchased it, yes, go ahead. Okay, then don't buy this. Finish. Leave this. Okay. Okay, so Indian Express is better because especially the explained column, any economic related article comes up, it is in line with UPSC. It is in line. Hindu is little anti-government. Okay, so that attitude will develop for you, which is not good. Okay, so that is the reason I suggest Indian Express, more balanced viewpoint probably. Okay, so but still Hindu also, if you are reading Hindu, Hindu is also good newspaper obviously for UPSC, then it's up to you. 2, 3 don't read, not required. 1, more than sufficient. Okay, and then obviously I have to write one thing last, my notes. Now I have to write this also, no? What about vision material? Okay, read. Yes, you have to. You read vision material as well, yeah. So if you're reading vision material, leave off Mishra and Puri. Reduce the load. Reduce the load. You're able to read and understand easily, then that is your material. Got my point right? You're able to read and understand easily, that is your material. If you're reading and not able to follow, that is not your material. As simple as that. That is, you are the judge. And yes, if you are able to read, yes, our material is scientifically prepared. Okay, but don't read it for the first 5 days, 6 days, wait. Once the words are clear, then start. Somebody writes vision notes, that's, yeah, this is what, vision material. And my notes is also vision notes only. No? Okay, fine. Till here, I think it is. And then at the end, we will read budget and economic survey. Budget and economic survey, this is at the end basically, don't think about it now. First get the concepts right, and then at the end, budget, economic survey, all that we can read. This is the last. We'll do it last. If we stick to the class notes, it is sufficient. I'm coming to that, wait. Generally, our preparation style, I will tell you, students generally, in the initial classes, no, first 5, 6 classes, the Josh is very high. Like you want, like I say, like, sir, you read Shankar Ganesh means what about Ramesh Singh, what about Nitin Singhania, shall I read 2 newspapers, 3 newspapers? It is basically like a progressive graph, you know, they know what is a progressive, you will say like every day, you know, my preparation will go like this, okay, but after 6 months, after 7 months, after 8 months, in fact, now when the prelims is coming, this is, now prelims is coming. So students, do you think one textbook, if we revise it, is okay? Do you think your notes is sufficient? Yes, our notes is sufficient. Sir, can you tell any important topics in your notes? Important topics in your notes. Now this is very important. Huh? Same students like you only. So initially you say one book, what is a small book? We are not interested in reading small books. You want big books. Okay, fine. Now the graph becomes regressive. Regressive. That is basically you want to cut down, and then old questions of UPSC prelims, is it sufficient? Okay, then which important topics for prelims? Then I should say 4 or 5 topics are there, national income, etc. That you do, it is more than sufficient. Then they get a boost. Now, better would be, this is not, this is, both are wrong. We are expecting that you go ahead like this. This is better. Minimum, consistent, long-standing, then we will win the battle. Who stands long, consistently will win the battle. Like this you go, you fall like this. No use. I think you're getting my point, right? Okay, so decide on the material, decide on the notes, and once you're able to solve the question, that's your material. Finish. Is this clear? Okay, so this is the reading thing, and then once this is over, then I will tell you what to read in the macroeconomics textbook. Okay, macroeconomics textbook, at the end I will tell you after our classes, almost like we are doing, then I will tell you like in which areas you will read that macroeconomy, which textbook, what has to be read, etc. Micro you can leave. Micro basics I will discuss in class, that is sufficient. Okay, so don't get into too much details of microeconomics, and still if you want to read, you read, but macro at the end. Is that clear? Yes. The first 5 days basics class, there will not be much of dictation. Now again, in the basics class, listen very carefully. Basics class, no much dictation. Only the terms and terminologies I will be mentioning, and wherever it is required, I will extend that word. Anyhow, you will get the copy of the basic words and terminologies. That copy is there, economic basic terms. So no too much of dictation in the basics class, because we have to cover the basics from 1930 till 2018. So we'll be hitting all the words. And then once every topic starts up subsequently, then we start the main topic. Each and every area I will dictate. I think you're getting my point. After the basics are over, the 5 basic classes, every topic there will be dictation. I hope it is clear. Okay, so this is one more aspect, which, because some students may not be like, you want dictation for the basic word. Suppose inflation itself, one word, if I start dictating, then we will not be in a position to learn the basics. Is this clear? Okay, let's get into our discussion now. As far as exam is concerned now, coming to the exam, in which all places like our economics will be there or useful. So you have to look from which all perspective. So when you're reading something, what should my perspective be? So this is very important. The first thing is, when we talk about prelims, Indian economy, basically you get somewhere like 17 to 22 questions. It can go to 16 sometimes, it can go to 22, 23 sometimes. Okay, so overall you get 18 to 22 questions. And remember, we can solve at least 18 out of 21, 22. That means efficiency is higher in a conceptual subject. Efficiency means I put in effort, I get the result. I think you're getting my point, right? Efficiency is what? I put in effort, I learn the concept, I get things right. I'm not commenting on other subjects. There are efficient subjects as well, but conceptual subjects, he cannot give something which is from somewhere out of blue, the question can't come. You learn Bharatanatyam and go, and something like Kuchipudi comes up. Okay, so if you're, there is huge scope, there are big subjects, huge scope. Here the scope is limited, concepts are less. So once the concept is clear, then the marks should come. I think you're getting my point. So the target also would be 18 out of 20. Okay, then second is in the mains portion. We have, one is the GS3. In this GS3, Indian economy plus agriculture. Indian economy plus agriculture will be around something like 10 to, I can say 9 to 11 questions. 9 to 11. It varies. Sometimes it can be 8 or 9. Okay, sometimes it can be 10. Or sometimes it can be 8. Okay, so the number of questions that keep coming. I'll tell you when to refer to mains and all. We have a lot of time, not now. Okay, so the mains question that is in the GS3, if we are good with our Indian economy, Okay, so around 10 questions definitely we can do justice as far as economics is concerned or the Indian economy is concerned. Because this paper has other things also. Is this clear? Okay. And then if our understanding is good, the third area is basically essay. Of course, last 2-3 years, there's only philosophical essays that are asked. Philosophical essay is a difficult kind of essay. Philosophical essay, I think you know what is a philosophical essay. Okay, last 2-3 years, okay. So wantlessness is utopian. Okay, but materialism is a chimera. Okay, so first of all, the sentence itself we don't know. Okay. Okay, so this is called as a philosophical essay. And all the essays are philosophical last 2-3 years. But if you observe till 2017, every year there will at least be one economic essay. Of course, economic essay means you will not write only economics. You will look at it from a different perspective. We'll talk about it later. But you have topics on essays on poverty. We have essays on something like capitalism. For example, in 2015, there was one essay called "Can Capitalism Be Made Inclusive?" Can capitalism be made inclusive? I'll talk about it later. Can capitalism be made inclusive? Okay, so the word capitalism, okay, or the term capitalism, I'll talk about it. Today we'll start with that only. So can capitalism be made inclusive? This was an essay. Or there was this essay, poverty anywhere is threat to prosperity everywhere. So this is basically something related to a topic called poverty. Okay, so poverty. Of course, poverty we will read in Indian society and GS1 as well. Okay, so poverty anywhere is threat to prosperity everywhere. It's an English line, no? Poverty anywhere is threat to prosperity everywhere. And then growth and development, all that inclusiveness, you will find essays on a consistent basis which are there. Or for example, today we are reading about Atmanirbhar Bharat. Heard of this word? Atmanirbharata, self-reliant India. So self-reliant India, is it myth or reality? There can be an essay. Self-reliant India, is it myth or reality? So when we talk about self-reliance, all our topics in economics will be helping us to write an essay there. For example, with respect to energy, is India self-reliant? Can India manage on its own? When it comes to health during COVID pandemic, did we have enough capacity to manufacture our own vaccines? When it comes to energy, when we talk about renewable energies like wind, do you think India is capable? You have one of the largest coastline. Are we reaping the benefits of it? Are you able to get this? So that means when you are reading some articles in the newspaper, when you are reading economics, one is the prelims perspective. Another is a GS3 answer. GS3 answer, something like writing 150 word or something like a 250 word answer. That's all. Then comes the essay. The essay part basically, so when you are collecting data, there are some significant areas. Significant areas means these are the areas which are important for next 3 to 4 years. When I use the word significant, significant means there will be questions for next 3 to 4 years. For example, self-reliant India. If I am collecting data on this topic called self-reliant India, if I am collecting some content on self-reliant India, it will not go waste for the next 2.5, 3 years. There is something like current affairs. There is something like significant. There is a difference between current affair and significant issue. For example, GST is a significant issue. GST, Goods and Service Tax. So every year from 2017, there was one or the other question on GST. Are you able to get this? So GST is a significant issue. So there are significant issues where comprehensively I will collect material and notes. So overall, suppose there are 10 significant issues, we will be preparing notes on these 10 significant issues comprehensively. Not on every topic you need not prepare comprehensively. Are you able to get this? No, 6 pages material in and out of self-reliance I will write. Why? Because anywhere I will use it. I'll use it in my GS answers, everywhere, wherever possible, I can use it. Are you able to get this? So this is one more important area, and that is basically note making, which I will talk after some 10 sessions are over. How to prepare our notes. No notes from NCERT as of now. NCERT itself is a notes now. Okay, so as of now, wait. Okay, so note making. So significant areas, we will prepare some notes. And that should help us in essay, it should help us in our mains GS3, and it should also help us in our prelims. When you're comprehensively reading something, no, automatically it will also help you in your interview. Economics is a topic which they can ask in the interview as well. I think this is the scope of the topic and use of this subject. I should tell you, capitalism is something like use based. I should tell you like this is the use. So when you're reading also the perspective is very important. I think you're getting my point, right? Okay, so that's all. Reference list, subject usage, and how you will, the perspective of your mind slowly. Is that clear till there? Okay. So when we talk about different nations following different economic policies, or when we use the word capitalism as such, today you would have heard of the word capitalism. I start off from here only. So when I use this word capitalism, so earlier there were countries which are capitalistic, and there were some countries which were promoting something like socialism. Okay. Now whenever you come across this word called capitalism, what comes to your mind is the question, obviously. So when I use the word capitalism, what is that comes to your mind? So one is what? Profit. Okay. So somebody has mentioned profit. When I use the word capitalism, so the word profit comes to your mind, and somebody has mentioned something like private sector. Okay, private sector. Okay. So then what else? Division of labor. Okay. Division of labor. Okay. Okay, वो क्लास के बारे में बाद में. Okay, division of society. Open economy. Production. Okay, production. In socialism, there's no production. Mass production. Okay. Okay. So one more word. Somebody has mentioned a word here, that is market. I'm writing the word here. Market. Okay. Somebody has mentioned a word called market. Okay. What is this market? I'll come to it. Anything else? When you listen to the word capitalism. Okay. Private ownership of property. I'll put it that way. Private ownership of property. Okay, fine. Then? So less government control. So very valid point. So I'm writing something like less government control. Less government control. Government is controlling. Government's control will be less. Somebody has written Adam Smith. Okay. Yes, very true. So Adam Smith. Okay, so now the question comes up. Okay. Hard work is rewarded. Okay, so his hard work or talent is rewarded. I'll put it that way. Rewarded. Okay. Is that okay? Now, when I use the word market, now capitalism in a capitalistic society, first thing what we should understand is government's control with respect to economic aspects. Government's control will be very, very limited. That means government will not tell you what you will produce, how much you will produce, or at what price you are going to sell the product. Are you able to get this? Suppose a simple example, if I give 1 acre of land to all of you and I say produce, and each one of you produced as per your capacity, okay, and you started gaining the benefits of your production. You reap the benefits of your production. Somebody who is using modern machines, somebody who is more skillful, he is able to produce more and he is able to move faster. And somebody who is not in a position to produce, okay, so he is going to lag behind. Are you able to get this? So in capitalism, an aspect called as efficiency. So when I listen to this word called capitalism, you have to come across this word called efficiency. With minimum amount of resources, you have to